I wanted to reflect on the school so far. So I'm going to present these. 1 second. So this is based on the learning journal. If you can go on to Menti and until now reflect on what session have you found more useful and why. Think of not only of the one that you like the most, because sometimes when we're on the session, some seem more fun and engaging, but then when we reflect back on them, there might be another one that has been more helpful, useful, and interesting on for the work that you do. So I see some people are still writing, so I'll give you a few seconds. But so at the moment, it's policy relevant research and influence. Then we have governance and management on, I don't know if, well, both of them. And Horacio and Nico on founding think tanks. I don't know if anyone wants to say why the session had been interesting or useful for them. Mega highlight on founding think tanks. Leading a think tank challenges the key functions. Carolina's, because it was holistic and systematic, and leading a think tank as well. So policy relevant research. So there's a trend of a group finding policy relevant research and governance more interesting, then a group on leadership, and then a few on com. So I'm glad that almost every session has a favorite, has been favorited by some of you. Does anyone want to just quickly jump in and say something about why this session has been important to you?
Yes, thank you, Andrea. Yes, to the session with Nico and Horacio, it's not that the other ones that are not very good, and they are, but perhaps my personal context where we are kind of young think tank, I want to say, and to learn from their experience how they created and how they start to do some key decision about who to call to get into the think tank and how to be relevant in the public debate. I found it very useful. Of course, part of funding. Thanks.
Thanks, Eduardo. To follow up on that, I think we shared the link, but if not, we will. We also have some resources on the website, a really good article by Enrique on how to set up a think tank. So I don't know if you've not found it, that's also good. And we're also working on a longer manual on how to set up a think tank. We can share a draft version with you, which is we've collated there a lot of knowledge and experience from Nicolas, from Horacio, and from people in our extended network on the questions that you need to think of when setting up a think tank. And we also have next week, next Saturday, Enrique's workshops on exactly that. And let's do Marcel, if you have any other comments.
Yeah, thank you. I need to leave my video off today because I'm having internet issues. But yeah, I found it really insightful. I think it's all of us are really policy interested, and it's easy to focus on like trying to improve policy, but a good leader of a think tank needs different roles and functions. And I found a really, really good reminder and to know that we need to be more than, just policy interested idealists that want to improve the world, but actually be networkers and entrepreneurs and all that.
Thank you, Marcel. Yes, I think that's a critical point, and that's something that's really important throughout the school. So the school was created because think tank leaders need a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge that's not only being researchers, but there's a lot that you as a leader you will need to know and to do. So the school tries to give you an overview of the different aspects that you will need and are important to effectively run an organization. So I'll move on to the next question. So what are the three might be too many. Can you write a main lesson that you've learned so far based on either your favorite or another of the sessions? I know you right now, Marcela and Eduardo have shared something. So what do the rest think? What has been one of the key lessons that you've learned so far? Oh, I like this one. Understand the need, respond, and develop a plan. Think tanks need manager just as much as they need researchers. Communication, staff, resource management, programming. I think that's you've learned everything and you found everything important. Entrepreneurship and perseverance. I think that's one of the messages from Horacio. You can't conduct research in silos. Interaction with policymakers, monitoring the policymaking environment. So making your research relevant and react to the environment and the context in which you're in. Give the creation of the think tank. So give it time. Key communications approach, research and policy linkages, diversity of think tanks, business models. Anyone wants to share one of the main lessons or follow up or explore more what you've just said? Is understanding the need reflect relating to the policy needs and being what Simon was mentioning of being timely with the research.
Yes.
It's no need to have it to take 10 months to respond to something that is needed right now. So I think one good thing then is what Kiko was mentioning of good enough. So what is plan what you need to do it thoroughly, good, but quickly. So you need to draw a line on when to stop speaking with others and doing research and then acting on the recommendations. I think someone else had raised their hands. Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I already raised my hand. The main lesson which I like the most is like communication audit. Normally, what we think about audit is like audits are especially for the financial data and the financial checking, something like that. But today in Ireland, one thing that is like audit is necessary for not only for the financial but also for the communications and other channel as well. And the second lesson which I remember is like social contract from I think Lisa's session. It's like although we may have a bond between we sign a bond between employer and employee, but if we make a social contract between the volunteer or social contract between the worker and our colleague, that our organization, whatever think tank or whatever organization can be success. Those are the most I like, and I want to share them.
Great. So it's about planning your comms and the social contract that you create with your staff. And I think that also resonated a lot with me. One thing that Lisa mentioned about if people are frustrated, they don't focus on work, they focus on their frustration. So establishing that social contract and enabling a space of trust and communication in which you can share your grievances but also concentrate on the work. It's not just about complaining, but it's about finding the right measure to be able to do your work comfortably and good and in a receptive environment. And I see one last raised hand, and with that we'll wrap this part up. Who raised their hand? I can't see that anymore.
Yeah, hi, this is Felix. It's less a lesson learned, but more a comment. I think what would be really helpful from all these lessons that we have learned is also, I mean, how to basically put that back into our organizations, especially smaller ones. Because, I mean, I think we have to do with a lot of very established think tanks with hundreds of staff. And at times, I mean, it's a bit difficult then to relate this to the own organization where things are a bit smaller, you know, 5, 10 staff occasionally or 20. You know, I think if the speakers could perhaps in the future also relate these things a bit to smaller organizations, how to start, how to build this, that would be great.
Great. So 2 comments on that. The next slide is about feedback on the school, so we can take that on that. And then the other is that yes, there's a lot of information that we share, and the sizes of organizations vary. So it's we need to work on identifying what works for us. But also, not all of the organizations started big. If as Horacio mentioned yesterday, he started with 2. Foraus has 10 staff right now. It has a wide volunteer base, but not all of them are that big. I think one of the things is that they look like they do a lot, but sometimes the resources are not that much. Carnegie, yes, of course, they have like a huge budget. And CPEC started with, I think, just a couple of people, but they did scale up. Finding your balance is tricky, but yeah, I'll speak with the speaker to get them to contextualize more and what could be done for smaller organizations. I'll change the screen now. So this is another Menti code. So the code here is 6104953. But is there anything that you think we should improve for the next week? How are you experiencing the Slack channel? How are you experiencing the sessions? The length, the resources shared, is it too little, too much? 3 hours in front of a screen is a lot, but that's due to circumstances, yes. Give more guidance on the task and maybe planning some time for individual reflective to tailor what we learn to our organizations. So perhaps more days. So I think that's a great suggestion for the future. And could the person who said that individual reflective to tailor what we learn to our organizations elaborate a bit more on what you mean? Is there a space within the sessions or on Slack, or what you had in mind, if you can share more?
Yeah, this is Sophie. Hello, everyone. So I think it was not even thought as a direct, I don't know, something that you can straight on think of, but it was more my own individual reflection that I think I need more time to take the learnings that I have from the sessions and then try to apply them to their own context. And I feel that this is the part that is coming, well, it's too short because of the work. So I don't know if there's like a way to include it or not. I'm not sure it's feasible, especially as everything's digital, but I think that's maybe also more task for myself and then afterwards. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you, Sophie. We'll see what we can do about that. Maybe we'll offer some suggestion questions for reflection, if that's useful. Then I see some comments on share presentations of lectures during the day. Okay, we'll do that. We'll ask more. Some of the trainers don't want to share the presentations beforehand because of a surprise factor that they want to have on the session. So on that, we're going case by case. Some trainers share it beforehand, and whenever we have them in advance, they're being uploaded to the website. So do check it out every day to see what we've updated. We mentioned on Slack when we updated as well. And then on more reference materials and less reference materials, we'll share as many as we can, but we'll leave you to use them and read them in your own time. I know it's a lot. When I first started working here, it took me quite a while to go over everything, but also pick and choose. There's no need to do everything right now. As someone was saying, we need time to reflect and to digest this. So start identifying what is useful now, and then just store it in the school website will be open for you forever. And we recommend going little by little and start digesting the resource one at a time, because otherwise it becomes unmanageable. We know we produce a lot, but we don't expect everyone to read it right now. Nusha, you have your hand raised?
Yes, I just wanted to follow up on the resources, because a lot of times I think there's a lot of links posted in our chat here and Zoom, and after the sessions we don't always have access to those links anymore. So I was just thinking that is it possible, maybe not right during the same day, but maybe at the end of the course, for us to get like a reference list with suggestions or the links that were posted.
Okay, great.
Or
So
like
on
even
the
YouTube
recap
videos.
summaries, we'll be adding all the links if we've not
Yeah,
done.
that would also be great. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
sometimes they are there, but sometimes not always. But
Okay.
then during the sessions, it's not always easy to go back and forth.
Yeah.
All the
No
links.
worries. We'll
Yeah.
we'll work on getting all the links together and putting them up on the Slack recap. Then someone said that they need Slack communication help. So could you share what what sort of help you need? If there's something specific, we'll take it one-on-one later, but maybe it's something that you all struggle with. So what is Slack communication help?
I'm Ramu. I raised this concern about the Slack communication help is that maybe I could ask for a one-on-one help, or if everyone else is doing well, but I find myself not doing too well with the Slack communication. But in terms of what I want to post and what I want to exchange, I'm not handling it well. It's my own shortcoming. Maybe I would like a small one-to-one assistance if possible.
Okay, we'll organize something. Then the main thing that I'm writing down is to organize better all the links and the resources that we share, either on the Slack and on the on the website. And just to know, in the background notes, we have organized all the links that most of them we're already sharing. So there you can find a really neatly organized space. But we will also add into each module the links so you'll have the presentation, and then you'll have the all the links uploaded there.
Yeah, it was a short suggestion, Andrea. I really appreciate in these new things, let's say, for blocks approach that I think are taking a lot of strong in terms of education. The first one is the first block focusing what, and then that's the block in which we learn new concepts and we go in depth understanding. This is the conceptual things. Then the second one, the how-to block, which means or refers to tools to do things like frameworks, templates, guidelines, etc., that you can check, understand, and eventually appropriate. The third block, something related to who can coach you in this. I'm sure that many of us can give some sort of coaching each other, or well, the mentors that you have included, etc. So that would be very good to understand who could be in a position, and this position, to do some coaching in a network base. And the fourth one is well, who can do some consulting in order to solve. So then you move to the approach and understanding and try to do the things by your own, to the other level of knowing precisely who can help you and give you the answers, which is the consulting extreme. So putting these 4 moments in the process, I think would be interesting in the long term for to take the best and the most of the approach. I sincerely, I've been moving throughout my life through the way, not just to getting the basic of understanding of the what's, and getting a fast concepts on the who's can be supporting my strategies, my initiatives, and helping to build very fast and efficiently and in the best possible way the tasks that I'm looking for.
Okay, thank you. That's quite interesting, Carlos. I think I'll follow up one-to-one with you to get a better idea of your suggestion and how we can make it happen for the next week, and how we can organize the resources and the learnings there.